right, Matrixx and Rhodes show supporters, let's talk about Jon Stewart's triumphant return to Comedy Central and The Daily Show. Oh my goodness, it's glorious, except it's not, and it wasn't, especially when he had to go against the king of late night. And yeah, Greg Gutfeld is now the king of late night. There's no disputing it. Greg Gutfeld has been dominating late night ratings ever since he started. I mean, let's be real. There's not like there's any real even right-leaning kind of late night shows out there. Greg Gutfeld's the guy, right? He's the only reason him and Jesse Waters and Judge Jeanine to ever in life ever tune in to Fox at all. Now, Fox has some pretty good entities still left over there, individuals still left over there, but as a whole, I'm not a big Fox News person either. I can tell you that. Well, Jon Stewart's been celebrated this week. I contend that he's only returned because there's an election and there's going to be a running for the president by one Donald J. Trump, and we know he's going to win the Republican nominee, and I think Jon Stewart is probably seeing dollar signs because we know where he stands with his radical leftist politics. Well, he got massive ratings. Huge ratings. Except he didn't. He got pulled out into the street and whipped like a dog by Greg Gutfeld and the Gutfeld Late Night Show. When they went head to head, it was ugly. It was very ugly. We'll also look at some comments from American Patriots on Gutfeld having this big victory. But I saw this and it just made me laugh. Because Jon Stewart once thought he was the bully on the block, and, well, there's a new bully. And it's glorious. Jon Stewart has returned to The Daily Show and is hosting the program one night a week for election season. Told you. I told you. This SOB has only come back because Trump is running and he thinks he can grift off of it. Why are you only back for one night? I mean, really. The news of Stewart's return was hyped by the liberal media as journalists are some of his biggest fans. Well, of course. He got all kinds of coverage that Jon Stewart was making his triumphant return. Unless he didn't, right? Stewart's big return definitely improved ratings for the show. Well, I mean, wasn't it Trevor Noah? I don't even know if Trevor Noah's still on that show, but he was god-awful. He's a radical leftist. Nobody watches that show. Nobody wants to hear from that dude at all. And it's just like the rest of late night. All those guys have turned their attention to one side of the country, and they've decided, we talked about this before, Johnny Carson always went after all sides. You know, even Jay Leno always went after all sides, tried to keep it much more fair, and we know that has not been the case. We talked about it with Jimmy Kimmel the other day. Stewart's big return definitely improved the ratings of the show, but the numbers aren't as impressive when looked at in the context of other comparable programming. It gets even more embarrassing here, folks. On the same night as Stewart's debut, and this is his debut, his premiere edition back, he got crushed in the ratings by Greg Gutfeld, who has emerged as a serious force in late night. The ratings are in, and it was a landslide. It was epic. Greg Gutfeld crushed Jon Stewart. According to Nielsen, the premiere episode of The Daily Show on Comedy Central delivered just 930,000 viewers in the 11 to 11:50 Eastern slot. That is an improvement on those ratings. It is. He still got drug. More importantly, and worse for Stewart and company, in the coveted 25 to 54 age range, there were only 320,000 viewers. To an industry outsider, those numbers might seem respectable. However, these numbers are down significantly compared to the 2014 numbers of The Daily Show with Jon Stewart when he got 1.4 million viewers and 672,000 viewers in the coveted 25 to 54 slot. So basically, this guy has hemorrhaged half of his viewership, just like Jimmy Kimmel. Just like Jimmy Kimmel. And when it seems like that you've got an issue with just one side of the aisle, people are going to turn you off. The bad news for The Daily Show did not end there. The same night of the premiere, Greg Gutfeld's host, Gutfeld, from 10 to 11 Eastern, had 2.2 million viewers, with 328,000 viewers in the 25 to 54 demo, beating Stewart among both categories. So much for the myth that conservatives are only old, angry white people. Yeah, we know that to not be a fact. Now listen to this, folks. This is where it gets really ugly for Jon Stewart. The final nail in the coffin of liberal Jon Stewart was him going head-to-head with Fox News at night. They're just regular run-of-the-mill news program. At 11 p.m. Eastern, the show delivered 1.3 million viewers. He got beat by just whatever the Fox regular news show is at night. Like no actual known host, nothing like that. The media landscape has changed while Jon Stewart has been away. While liberals are overjoyed by his return, it is clear that he doesn't hold the same sway he did in 2015. No one is laughing harder than Gutfeld. It's hilarious. It's truly hilarious. Look, the Gutfeld show has been praised by a lot of people, but even Bill Maher came out and said the Greg Gutfeld show is the best late night show that there is. He thinks it's the funniest show on television. And even somebody like Bill Maher sits down and makes a point to watch Gutfeld every night. Now, to his credit, Bill Maher was one of the very few classic liberals that used to actually go on Fox News and actually debate people. I can remember Bill Maher going on there many times back in the day. Let's get a little reaction from American patriots here. Gutfeld has no trouble calling out the liberal douchebags. Calling the liberal douchebags. Yeah, I agree with that. All the other late shows have given up on comedy. It's just straight up Democrat and Pfizer propaganda. A choice in entertainment and the left loses. To whom is this a surprise? We want entertainment, no lectures about how evil we are. Shut up and sing. Do they even attempt to sing anymore or do anything to, entertain people anymore? Is it all just leftist propaganda and propping up Hollywood actresses and scumbag directors and, guys of that ilk, Hollywood elitism? Gutfeld is also funny on the 5 when he's winding Jessica Tarloff like a cheap wristwatch. Yeah, he does own her on there. He crushes her on a regular basis. Gutfeld is funny along with regulars Tyrus and Kat. Put on a good show making light of the day's events. It's the only show that parodies Democrats. The rest of late night hosts could be doing real well if they weren't drones for the DNC. Yeah, I'm a big Tyrus fan, and that's where we'll hold off. But I'm a big Tyrus fan. Former NWA World Heavyweight Champion who is now retired from pro wrestling. But he's really good. I mean, he's turned out to be a very good co-pilot for Gutfeld. Cat as well. And then they throw in, a lot of times they'll throw in like one or two like marquee figures on there along with Gutfeld. And I was talking the other night about Jimmy Kimmel and how those networks have given these massive resources to these late night shows. And Gutfeld was saying that literally he's got like 6 or 7 people that work on that show. And I think they use a set that's part of another Fox set. That would never happen. Stephen Colbert, Jon Stewart, Jimmy Fallon, Kimmel, they all got their own everything. Like I don't understand the fascination that networks have with late night shows. It's kind of baffling to me. Maybe because a lot of times I go to bed and I have to watch Gutfeld like on a replay the next day because I'm usually asleep by like 8:30. But it's a damn good show. It's really funny. I think this is hilarious. Yeah, because lefties right now are trying to take a victory lap over Jon Stewart. Yeah. Go sit in Gutfeld's lap. How about that? Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.